Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm Jaquan,
I'm Jasmine.
and welcome to the Film Spill.
So today, guys, we're going to be reviewing seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4 of The Strain. This is a drama series, and here is the summary. Dr. Ephraim Goodweather is called upon to investigate when an airplane lands with everyone on board dead. What his team discovers is a viral outbreak that has similarities to an ancient strain of vampirism. As the virus begins to spread, Goodweather works with his team and a group of the city's residents to wage a war that could hold humanity's fate in its hands.
For sure, for sure. So, I really enjoyed this series. I like gory stuff, so this series was definitely up there. I definitely can say that I recommend it. So let's get into my rating. The rating I give this series is going to be a 4. Like I said, I thought it was a really good series. I think they did a good job beginning to end. Let's get into my pros and my cons. So going from season 1 to season 4, the method of worms turning people into a vampire was very different. I've never seen that in any other show or series. It's always from a bite or from like blood or so just to kind of have like these worms entering your body, and they're like blood worms and they turn you. I thought that was just interesting and different. The master, so the person who's basically turning everybody into these vampires and that they're connected to him, his powers were really dope. Abraham was a savage, and from season 1 to season 4, when the solar eclipse came, we knew it was over. Finding out that Jim was a rat, allowing a lot of that stuff to happen. So when he gets killed, I was like, thank you. It was cool to see Ephraim get with Nora. They had a lot of chemistry, so just to know that they actually already had stuff that they had going on, I thought that was interesting as well. I like Vaughn and the vampire team. They was really skilled. And they were vampires, and that was different because it was just like they're kind of like Blade. It was crazy finding out that Abraham boils blood worms and put them in his eyes so he can stay agile since he was like basically 90 years old. That was just crazy. Passing out and all that stuff. It was just crazy. I like the silver powder grenade. That was dope. That was really different. Quinlan was a savage as well. When Quinlan was introduced in the series, he was really dope. His backstory was really deep as well. His mom was human. She was pregnant with him, and she was turned by the master, and he was giving birth, and he had the abilities of a vampire, like vampire appearance, but you know, he was able to still do stuff humans can do for the most part. It was crazy when the SEAL team members, right? The SEAL team, they became infected soldiers and they still had their mind intact. You know, they were like utilizing weapons. That was interesting and cool too. When Thomas put bombs in the affected and they blew up at the senator's office infecting people, Thomas was just so cynical, but that part was crazy. When Kelly finally died, Kelly got on my nerve from the beginning, before she got turned and after she got turned. She was just so extra. So when she got knocked off, I was like, yes. Yo, it was crazy when Quinlan piped Louisa. Like, because once again, this dude looked like a vampire. So she basically slept with this dude and then started looking like a human. But that was crazy because she slept with him while he
had
looked.
a life.
Yeah. When Abraham took all the anticoagulant and let Thomas drink his blood to poison him, and he finally died, that was crazy because it was just like, oh my God, no, Thomas is sucking Abraham's blood. Like, no. He's like, nah. That was just so smart. And finally, whenever the master was killed and Zach sacrificed himself to kill the master, he finally did the right thing towards the end. I was just like, thank you. But it was crazy because he had to kill his dad as well. So, all right, my cons. I did not like Ephraim's wig. I knew that he was bald. So in the beginning when we started watching, I'm like, hold on. That's that dude from Ant-Man. This dude is bald in real life. They gave him a wig. Okay. I remember in the beginning when Abraham was trying to tell Ephraim about this virus and how to stop it, no one believed him. I was irritated about that. Basically, anybody who was turned into a vampire were all ugly. Starting off with the master. They just all just was crazy looking. The minister telling Ephraim no, she wouldn't want to shut down the airport. It would cause the stock market to crash. The bloodworms, they were disgusting looking. Bolivars, and when his private area falls off, that was crazy. When the mayor's daughter got bitten on the mouth by a rat, that was disgusting. Like I said, Jim was an op. For Kelly and the senator, whenever that bloodworm burrowed in their eyes, it just seemed like every time they showed the bloodworm going to somebody's skin, they always picked the eyeball, and it was just so disgusting. I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing?
Sat there and let it do.
Yes. I'm like, their reflexes had to be so slow, but they let this thing just dig in their eyeballs. I was irritated when Abraham kept failing to kill the Blood Master. He had so many time frames and just could not work. When the first Master threw up in Stardew's mouth, once again, how he transferred his powers to people outside of the bloodworm going into people's eyes, that was probably the most disgusting thing. Like throwing up in somebody's mouth and then putting all the throw up in there. Like, it was just disgusting how they transferred their powers. Zach misbehaved a lot in that show. Ephraim trying to shoot Thomas and missed. Like, he just was horrible as a shot. and kill the secretary Coco by mistake. Like, this dude was just just extra, man. When Thomas was about to lick Duchess you know what with his tentacles. Disgusting part. When Zach got Nora killed and left with his mom. Zach had me so hot in that show.
Yeah.
Like, the stuff he was doing. Gus letting his mom live even though she was infected, causing a lot of problems. When Zach set out the nuclear bomb, like, yo, he caused so many problems. Dutch was going through it so much in season 4. Sanjay was a snake. Cream was a snake. Thomas, just like Abraham had so many chances to kill the Bloodmaster, Thomas had so many chances to kill Abraham. Yeah, he always want to talk. Like, I don't know why they do this stuff in these shows. Like, let me just talk to you and tell you about something. And then it just doesn't happen. It was sad when Abraham died, and it was also sad when Ephraim died.
Okay, guys, I give this series a 1 out of 5. Stop that.
It's so harsh, man.
I really don't know why I sat here and watched 4 seasons of this show because it was horrible and it was so creepy. This is a gory, gruesome, creepy show. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Abraham tried to tell them how to prevent all this craziness from happening in season 1. He said you got to cut their heads off and burn their bodies, but nobody wanted to listen to him. And of course, the main reason all this happened was because a rich old man was dying and wanted to find ways to live longer. So that's why he had the master shipped in a coffin to him. It was crazy when all the people from the plane, we thought they were dead, and they basically kind of came back to life and went back to their family and friends. And now the problem was way bigger because they were scattered all over New York City. These things were so ugly. Oh my gosh, looking at their faces, it was just so hard. And then those tentacles coming out their mouth, just yuck. I think it's cool how the master can observe the outside world through his kind, and he can speak to all of them too in their heads. That really went down into those sewers to see why all those rats were running out. I would have passed out when those group of vampire people came walking towards me. It was crazy how during the solar eclipse, all of the infected came out since they couldn't be in the sunlight and it was now dark, and they infected a bunch of people and spread the virus. In season 2, Zach was doing too much. He turned into a little rebel and kept trying to run away and find his mom. Abraham putting the bloodworm juice in his eyes to prolong his life was nasty because his eyes were bleeding and everything. Yeah. Kelly was getting on my nerves. They just kept showing her and her scouts. It was just super creepy. In season 3, Zach wanted to be with his mom so bad, and when he finally was with her, he wanted to go back with his dad. It wasn't fun being locked in a windowless room with your vampire mom who almost sucked your blood. I like the silver powder bombs. Those things were really cool. I wish they had like a lot of those. Gus was doing too much, like he said, trying to keep his vampire mom alive, and he was draining his blood to give it to her in a dog bowl. That was just too much. I didn't like how the ancient masters or the ancestors, whatever you call them, would twitch as they talked. That just really got on my nerves. At the end of season 3, once again, Zach was doing too much, and he set off the nuclear explosion because he was mad, and he killed so many people and then allowed the Bloodmaster to escape. In season 4, it was crazy how basically the vampires were in control of the city since it was dark thanks to that nuclear explosion. It was also crazy how the humans had to give blood in order to get supplies like food and water, and then certain blood types were favored over others and they received better treatment. Rest in peace to Abe in season 4 because he'd been fighting this Bloodmaster for so many years and he finally got. Zach did one good thing, and that was when he hit that detonator at the end of season 4 and eliminated himself and the Bloodmaster for good. So that was the only good thing he did. But yeah, overall, didn't like this series. I don't recommend you watch it, and I give it a 1.
Well, just like always, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. You guys have a good one.